When I started lifting, I was in the gym for 2 hours a day, absolutely destroying myself. I thought that was what it took to build something great, to really build something like the physiques I saw in movies. Set after set, constantly chasing the pump, and leaving the gym so sore that I could barely move. And do you know what's funny? Do you know what all that extra time actually got me? Sorer. Not bigger, just a lot sorer. It took me way too long to realise it, but all of those extra hours grinding weren't actually building my physique. They were ultimately holding it back. So back when I first started lifting, and as I progressed to the intermediate stage throughout university, I genuinely believed that more was better. I mean, I had a lot of time and a lot of energy at that point in my life, and so using that for the gym seemed simple enough. I'd be in there for an hour and a half to 2 hours comfortably, 6 days a week, and this went on for at least a year or two straight. And if we're being completely honest, I did love it, I really did. I learned a huge amount in that time, and I'm not going to pretend those hours were wasted. When you're still relatively new to this whole lifting game, putting in the reps is how you dial in the technique. It's how you get to grips with the environment, and for me, I was just having fun. I saw myself making some improvements. But ultimately, the mindset that I went into it with, it was all wrong. I thought the answer to everything was just to do more. More sets, more reps, heavier weights, bigger pumps, and then walk out of the gym completely wrecked. That was what I used to call a great session. Looking back, it was too much volume, too much weight, and far too often, the form was absolutely horrific. It was too poor. I was falling into the trap of trying to shift as much weight as possible for as many times as possible. I didn't really understand the effect of time under tension and really focus on the mind-muscle connection, which I now realize is crucial to building physique. It's one of the most important parts, really trying to activate the muscle, choosing the exercise with the muscle in mind. I didn't understand the difference in the types of training you could do at the gym. I didn't understand the difference between building a physique, building strength, building endurance, and the relationship between them and recovery. I feel that's just part of a beginner self-taught lifter's fitness journey. The thing that actually changed it for me wasn't a study or some program I bought. It was the people I actually looked up to at the time. The guys with the physiques that I actually wanted, the ones I was watching on YouTube every week. And a lot of what I could see pointed towards the same thing. I was doing too much. You could do less for more. Now this all sounded a bit mad to me. It all sounded backwards. When you're grinding that hard and giving your all to something, being told to pull back, it really feels like you're about to lose everything you've worked so hard for. But over the years, I started to come to grips with my body. I started to understand it and how it responded to different stimulus. So I continuously tried new things out and adapted my training, and it benefited me so much that I feel like I need to pass it on. Because nobody starting out is really told this. Here's what's actually going on. If you're lifting too regularly, skipping rest days, smashing out set after set after set, all that happens over time is you get more fatigued and more sore. You're also far more likely to get injured because you're never actually prioritizing your recovery. Your strength starts going backwards, your motivation dips, and none of it is contributing significantly to building the body and the look that you're actually chasing. Because muscle isn't built in the gym, it's built when you recover after the gym session. In the gym is where it's broken down. You build the muscle back in the recovery process that follows. The workout is just the signal. The actual growth happens after, while you rest, eat enough protein, and get sufficient sleep. When you start piling on more and more volume, you're not sending a bigger signal. What you're doing is essentially just doing more damage than you have time to actually recover from before anything can actually grow. And this is the part that really got me. You can get the exact same muscle growth from far fewer sets. Same muscle tears, same growth, you could just skip that crippling soreness, that DOMS, the next day. It's worth noting that DOMS is not necessarily correlated with muscle growth. Less sets doesn't mean less muscle, it just means less of the pain that we somehow convinced ourselves was a requirement to the process. So let me tell you what my training actually looks like today, because it really is simple. I'm in and out within an hour. If I'm filming or it's a leg day, maybe an hour 15 at the most. But I rarely let it go over that unless, I just want a bit of fun. Honestly, somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour is probably the sweet spot. That's all you really need to make some serious progress. And the biggest change of all, I used to do 5 sets for absolutely every single exercise. 5. Now I do 2 top working sets. And cutting it down to just 2 did what I had planned it to do. It made every single set better. Every rep became a lot more intentional. Because when you know you've only got 2 sets, you stop mentally holding reps in reserve, you stop pacing yourself. You know there's only 2, so you bring absolutely everything you've got to them. That's the simplest way to reap more gains for less. Less time and fewer sets doesn't mean any less effort. It actually lets you focus and divert all your effort into reps that actually count towards your goal. Now let me be clear, I'm not telling you to do nothing. The reality is you just need to be more intentional. Some volume matters, especially early on. When you're new, those reps are how you learn the movement patterns and dial in your technique. So I'm not saying skip that. I think large volume to start is almost an inevitability with new lifters. And 2 sets only works if those 2 sets are genuinely hard and you're pushing yourself. Close to failure, a rep or 2 in reserve with full control of the weights throughout the motion. I'm not giving you permission to coast and leave with spare energy just because I'm saying that less is better. It's permission to stop grinding yourself into the ground for no extra gain. So if you take one thing from this, let it be this: you do not need to live in the gym to build a physique. And if anything, all those extra hours are working against you. More soreness, worse recovery, more injury risk, and all for the same muscle you'd have built in half that time. Get in, bring everything you've got for a couple of hard working sets for each exercise, and then go and recover, because that's where the magic actually happens. And then you just rinse and repeat. It's a bit mad looking back. All those hours, all that soreness, convinced the grind was the point. I was chasing something I could have built in half that time. With the experience that I have now, under an hour, 2 sets, walking out without breaking down, and way more to show for it. The same muscle tears in half the time, because the work was never racking up the hours in the gym. It was the effort you brought to that time that actually counted. So do less and mean it more. I'll see you in the next one.